Have you ever tried to deep water your pepper plants or your tomatoes or your squash? We're going to do that today. What I've done is I've cut a length of pipe. It's only about 15 inches or so. I've drilled some holes in the bottom of the pipe. Took my post hole digger and dug a hole about that deep. I'm going to set this pipe in here. I'm going to anchor it good and solid in there. I'm going to plant a pepper plant. I came to my biochar bin, got me a cup of biochar. Let's put it in the pipe. And that's all there is to it. I'm going to put some rabbit poo in one of the pipes. This is some dried chicken manure. It's going in this pipe. In this one, I'm going to put some rainwater. For my next pipe, I'm going to use rabbit tea. It's an exact science. While I'm at it, I'm just going to go ahead and put water in all these other pipes. One of my squash plants is performing poorly. All my other ones seem to be doing well, but this one's doing poorly. So I sunk a pipe down in it. I put some biochar, some chicken manure, and some rabbit poo in it. We're going to see if that perks it up. I'm going to go ahead and water it down too. I've got 5 different plants, 5 different ways to fertilize it. Of course, the one squash plant. We're going to come back in 4 weeks. I'm going to water it once a week, maybe twice, depending on the weather, and see how they do. 1 week. Not a whole lot of progress in 1 week, but I'll show it to you. This one had the rabbit manure in. Here is the chicken manure. You may remember the old squash plant that was kind of sickly looking. It seems to have perked up a good bit. It's June 17th, 4 weeks since we planted. We had a little over 2 weeks, 2.5 weeks, almost 3 weeks without rain. But we finally got some rain, and then I think it's been raining ever since. Let's go see what they done. You remember this one we planted? We had the pipe filled with biochar. This one has done really, really good. In fact, I think of all of them, this one has done the best. This was the one I had rabbit manure in, and it has failed to do much of anything. I'm not real sure why. I guess maybe the rabbit, it takes longer for the rabbit manure to leach into the ground. I don't know. But it hadn't done a whole lot of anything. My squash plants are about to take over it, but they've just recently done that, so I don't think that's the problem. This one had the chicken manure in it, and it's done fairly well. It's actually starting to take off a little bit, so I'm thinking maybe that the fertilizer is finally leaching into the ground. Maybe the roots are going down far enough to get it. I don't really know, but it's not bad. It's really not bad. This was the one that I used, the rabbit tea, and then I had to switch over to chicken tea. It's doing pretty good. It's actually come on. It was slow to start with, but it's starting to come on pretty good now. This one, I didn't have anything but water on it. No fertilizer, no anything. Just poured water directly into the pipe, and it seems to have really bushed out. I'm not real sure why it bushed out more than the others, but it bushed out. Maybe it's just the plant itself, but it's doing really, really well. So just plain old water. Of course, I use rainwater as much as I can. You might remember the squash plant that was sickly poorly. We put a pipe next to it. And would you know that it was doing good until today. Now we did have a storm, and I don't know, apparently it had a lot of wind and all that, but I mean it didn't seem to affect anything else. Something affected this plant overnight. It's terrible to do an experiment and then at the last minute this happened. But that's why you do experiments, isn't it? I know it's not a in-depth experiment, I understand that. And I think the concept is right. I wanted to get the fertilizer and the water deeper into the soil so the roots would want to go deeper into the soil. I didn't just want to water it on top. I don't know if the 2 weeks of no rain, I'm sure that didn't help, but I mean, I was faithful in trying to keep it watered in the pipes. And then we started having rain on top of rain. So we went from a drought to a monsoon. But that's all right. That's just South Mississippi weather. By far, the biochar and just plain water seems to have done the best. That tells me nothing. It tells me nothing. I don't know what to conclude from this experiment. Maybe you all can give me some pointers. Thank you for joining us. God bless. Have a good day.